I remember reading a story about you get by the Rebbe. You were trying to get a blessing for your uncle. Can you share that?
Of course, yeah. We going back to, I think it was probably around 1994. No, it goes back to 1993, I believe. Yeah. So my great uncle, that would be my mom's uncle, had some health problems, which basically rendered his heart. They couldn't do much for the heart anymore, and they said that he needs to get a heart transplant. And unfortunately, being on an official list, and you have to find the right donor, the right match, and there's a priority system. There's a whole science behind it, apparently, of who gets which heart if it becomes available. And they were waiting for a long time, and no luck. So when I was going to New York, and the relatives found out that I'm going, his wife, so my great aunt,
This
and
is when you were already in New York, like when you were already there
no,
for
no, no, no. So
no.
I was correct. I was already there for beyond base medrash. So I was
Oh,
learning
okay.
in
Right.
the higher level education in various yeshivas on the East Coast.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they asked me to ask for a blessing from the Rebbe for him, so that
Mhm.
he should be able to find a match. So in those days, you remember the dollars, the
Mhm.
magical dollars that
Mhm.
everyone talks about. And so one day when the Rebbe was giving dollars, I decided, okay, now is the opportunity to ask the Rebbe for a blessing. And I was standing in line and preparing myself, preparing. I'm trying not to be petrified. That's what preparing is. Of course, there's the Hasidic dimension of preparing, looking into your own soul and everything else. I was petrified, you know.
Right.
But nonetheless, I decided that okay, I got to be ready. I knew I'm not going to have much time. So I decided I'm going to just say one sentence, Refuah Shalema, and then to give my uncle's name.
Mhm.
That's it. Because as we know, you don't have much more time than that. You take a split
Mhm.
second later, you're getting yanked by somebody in that line. So, okay, I'm practicing the whole time in line and it's taking time. That's fine. But I have it now down like a science. It's one sentence, a couple of words, no big deal.
Right.
So I come in front of the Rebbe, and it's my turn. And as with everybody else, the Rebbe is extending his hand to give $1, and to everyone says bracha v'atzlacha. Next person, bracha v'atzlacha. And when it came my turn, and I'm about to open my mouth to say it, and wouldn't you know it, the mouth doesn't move. I'm, I'm, I'm frozen, and I can't say a word.
Is
So
it
the
because you
Rebbe,
were just so in awe of the Rebbe? Like what was it?
Of course, I'm in front of the Rebbe. What,
Right.
how can I even have the chutzpah to say anything? I don't
Right.
know. Just everything froze.
Right.
So the Rebbe is reaching to give the dollar, and suddenly he kind of midair, he paused, he looked up, and he said, Refuah Shalema.
Mhm.
So not as though, obviously, even though I couldn't say anything, he read the mind, knew completely what's going on here and what I'm asking for. So, and yes, after that, I got yanked, let's go, because I was frozen. I couldn't move, in a shock, that the Rebbe answered. So I'm now, suddenly I find myself right outside 770 in front. I don't even know how I got there. And I'm in my own world trying to figure out what happened, what transpired just now. And and then after a while, when I got back to myself, I was like, oh wow, okay, this is amazing. I should really let the relatives back in LA know the bracha
Mhm.
that I got. So it took me some time to go and then find again a public phone in those days, right?
Mhm.
um, and I tried calling my relatives, and they weren't picking up. This is
Mhm.
a few hours later. And then I tried and tried, and then I saw nobody picks up. So I tried calling my mom. By then already, my parents had come, and they were living in the United States, and they were not picking up either.
Mhm.
So then I tried calling my grandparents, who had by now also immigrated to the United States. They're not picking up. Okay, so no answer. The next day, I tell myself, I got to try. It's good news and I got to share with them. I still can't get a hold of my great uncle, but I tried my mom and she picked up. And I said, where have you been? I have this amazing news. I want to tell you what happened here. So she goes, yeah, what? So I go through the whole, drill of what happened. I came and went. I got a bracha. And so I said, but where were you? I tried everyone. No one was answering. So she said, well, let me tell you. It seems like it was around the same time that you were by the Rebbe and you got $1, that suddenly my uncle, that would be my great uncle or her uncle, got a phone call from Northern California that they have found the proper heart and he has 45 minutes to get himself to the hospital. They're flying
Wow.
the heart down there for him to have the heart transplant.
Mm.
And so, as soon as, and again, Persian Jewish families are very close. So when that news got out, the entire family of all the nephews, uncles, aunts, everyone went to the hospital to be there as a support. That's why you couldn't
Wow.
get a hold of anyone.
Wow.
And so this was already post surgery, and he was doing well, thank God.
Wow.
And I remember I decided to fly back to LA to go pay a visit. And when I went there, my cousin came as well, Rabbi Yossi Cohen, who also leads a community in the Valley area, and another friend of mine, Rabbi Asher Habibian. And we showed up to the hospital. And when he actually opened up his eyes, and um, he told everyone present, I see three angels. To him, that was the three
Mhm.
rabbis there were like three angels bringing the good news to him. So yeah, so that's one
Wow.
of the miraculous stories of the Rebbe.
Beautiful. Wow, that's amazing.